What's up, everybody? Welcome back to As Deep as It Gets. It's your boy Dean here, and I'm going to be real with you right out of the gate. Feeling a little sick, and I've been struggling, man. I've been struggling mentally, I've been struggling with energy, and I've been struggling to show up the way that I want to show up every day. Struggling with bills, struggling trying to build this thing, struggling with scheduling, just struggling with it. I don't know if you guys have seen that Damon Darling, but he's a pretty funny guy. But even in the midst of all this, I keep getting this little tap on my shoulder like, yo, you do realize how blessed you are to even have the chance to try, right? There are people out there who never get this shot. They don't get the time, the flexibility, the support system, the random miracles that happen throughout that make chasing the dream even possible. And somehow, some way, I've been afforded this tiny little window in life to go, hold on a sec. Let me see if I can actually do something with this. So tonight or today, I want to talk about that tension. The tension between struggling and being blessed. The tension between loving your friends and wanting to spend all your time with them, and knowing that you might have to make some sacrifices in that realm and sort of forge your own path. The tension between trying to be a perfectionist, wanting the perfect life, the perfect person, the perfect situation, and sort of realizing that if you look hard enough, you'll always find something or someone better. But you've got to pick something that actually makes you happy. If you're listening to this, whether it be in the gym, in the car, at that job you hate, or wherever in between, this episode's for you. Let's dive deep and get to it. Go deep. All right, we're back. So it took me about 10 days, a week, 10 days to sit down and record this. You'll probably be getting it 2 weeks out, but that's due to some Thanksgiving and some jolly times during the holidays. And, this is supposed to be the thing that I love to do, right? And sort of building my life around it, if so facto. And it's not because I didn't want to put out the episode. It's a combination of all the things at once. Side work I got going on, money stress, overthinking, trying to be there for people and be present for people, then trying to be there for myself and work out, and with the holidays are here, just life, really life, and piling up on me. And you get caught in this little loop of when I feel better, then I'll make the podcast. When my shoulder's not hurting, then I'll go to the gym. When it's warm out, then I'll go play basketball. A lot of excuses in there. The days start slipping by, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, it's been a week. But here's the perspective shift I've been trying to force on myself, and maybe it will help you guys as well. Yes, I'm struggling. Yes, some days I feel like I'm barely keeping my head above water and I don't know how any of this is happening. But at the exact same time, I'm like, dude, you have the opportunity to even play this game, to sit here. Most people don't ever get to be in this lane. They don't wake up and stress about what content they're going to make or podcast growth or how they're going to make an impact. They're worried about surviving the job, getting their kids fed, and collapsing on the couch at the end of a hard, long day. And I've been given this weird gift in my life to be afforded the opportunity to do what I've always wanted to do and turn all this chaos inside my crazy, messy, wild head into something for people. Something good for people. And I'm constantly plagued with, how do I tell these stories? How do I build this with respect and dignity and class, and also make everyone happy and not put anyone's reputation or things at risk? There's a lot to navigate here. But I've been enjoying it. So when I say I've been struggling, I haven't really. I've been really content. I've really embraced these creative lanes that I've found myself in. And I'm extremely aware that I've sort of been afforded an opportunity that not everybody gets to actually ever try. And that's sort of part of what makes this whole thing so emotional in a lot of ways for me, is because this whole thing isn't just about me. It's about the people who believe in me, my friends and family, the people who watch, the friends who check in, and the people who say, yo, keep going. And even, the younger guys like Jaden who've said to me, like, hey, man, maybe one day I can do something like this too, or I'm going to start this project. And that's where everything sort of naturally runs into this next part that's been in my head lately, is my friends, all of my people, all the ones who have been there from the jump, the ones I grew up with. I've been getting to see them a lot more lately, which is nice. I've seen Colby, I've seen Mason a few times. I'm loving that I'm getting to have them in my lives a little more. And it's been great. There's really nothing like walking into a room and seeing the dudes you went to preschool and kindergarten with, or who seen you when you were an awkward 16-year-old who was fat and had acne all over your face, making the crudest jokes, or when you were broke delivering pizza and had a little flower shop and doing dumb stuff for no reason on a Tuesday night. The guys who have been with me sort of through it all, who watched me fail, laughed with me, laughed at me, cried with me, cried because of me, and did pretty much, or was around for pretty much every dumb or stupid decision I've ever made. Every time I see them, it's like I'm in this warm little pocket of comfort and home where nothing can ever go wrong or get me. And we laugh, and we tell all the same stories, and we talk about the old days, and we chuckle and make the same silly jokes. And for a second, when we're all together, life really makes sense again. And I think hanging out with those guys is my favorite thing. And it always has been. And that's why I've wanted to use this podcast to blend my time with them and my passion, which is podcasting and helping people and having a platform and being able to create things and adapt and change and discuss opinions and politicize and, question and conversate over the deep, meaningful things in life. But I'm realizing that there's this whole other side, as much as I love seeing my friends and spending time with them, in a lot of ways, taking this path, I might have to let him go a little bit. Not in the, dramatic, I'm too good for you now, I'm elevating, cutting everybody off who doesn't vibrate at my same frequency kind of way. I mean in a very real, very painful, our lives are headed in different directions now kind of way. And here's where the sort of unbalance comes in with me navigating that is I don't think that they fully understand how much I need them right now, how much I would appreciate their shares or them coming on or them, taking the time to help me make a reel or have a conversation with me or calling in. And I don't fully understand how much they have to protect what they've built with their careers and their families and their, really that's it, but really just their careers and their families and protecting that. I totally understand that. And I'm in this season where I'm trying to build my dream from the ground up, and low key and in all seriousness, low key, high key, I probably need my friends now more than I ever did when I was just messing around, drinking every weekend, fighting, doing the dumbest things. And I probably need them here now, not to help me with this thing, but yeah, maybe to help me with this thing. And for the quiet support, when we were younger, me, Colby, Patrick, Heath, we all made a movie together. It was called Renting Mueller, and it even had a sequel, Renting Mueller 2. And in writing that script and doing that creative work, I don't think it was the first movie us as a friend group tried to make, but I really loved channeling that energy of creating something with them and something that I hope to have and cherish forever. And I think that's why I've been so eager to get them on. And they all keep, it's okay. I'm not, I could never be mad at them, truly. I might mess around here and there, but they've just got things. But they see me grinding. And they've all told me not to stop. But for them, life's a little bit different. So for all of you who've reached out and asked me, when's Colby coming on? When's Tyler coming on? When's Ellis coming on? When's Mason coming on? A lot of those guys, they've got kids to tuck in. They've got wives and girlfriends who need them present. They got jobs where if they show up tired or distracted, it's not just their life that gets affected anymore. It's their whole household. They call it settling down. And from the outside, when you're still sort of chasing something and you don't really have your life figured out, it can sort of look like they're a little bit tapped out of not of course of their dreams, but of mine. Like, and I get that. The more I realize what they chose is stability. They chose a different kind of responsibility. And now they're just trying to hold on to the things they've worked so hard to build. The great families, the great homes, the sweet routines that they have. They can't afford to be out gallivanting around, making podcasts with me, pretending we're still 21. So we end up in this emotional tug of war. I'm like to some of these guys, fellas, I need you. I need your energy. I need the feeling of not being alone in this. I want you to come on and talk. And they're like, bro, we love you. We want you to win, but we can't really get on there and talk to you because we can't just sit next to you every time you're going to feel alone. You got to figure this out on your own. And neither side's wrong. That's sort of the part that hurts. There is no villain in this story. You just slowly watch as paths fork off in different directions. And there's that moment you realize I can't demand of my friends that to pretend like we're 21 or 25 anymore just so I feel supported. But I also can't pretend it doesn't hurt that they're not here with me trying to make a new podcast or doing this or that. So, this is the space I've been sitting in. Loving my friends deeply and dearly, being so happy when I see them. And also sort of accepting this part that chasing this thing might mean I have to walk a lot of this path without them right next to me. Doesn't mean they don't love me. Doesn't mean I don't love them. Just means life is starting to separate. Speaking of settling down, let's pivot for a second. I'm at the age where a lot of people around me are settling down, getting married, having kids, buying houses, locking it in. And I'd be lying if I said my brain doesn't go that place sometimes. Like, yo, maybe you should settle down. And there's some, there's always some, you can have some doubts there, What if I pick the wrong person? What if I lock it in too soon and then 10 years from now, like, oh no, I missed out on something better? Here's the funny thing though, and kind of messed up and kind of true thing about life. There's always something better out there. Somebody better than me, there's somebody better than you, there's somebody better than everybody. Better in some category or another. Someone prettier, someone more successful, someone who gets your hobbies more, someone with less baggage, someone with less partners, someone with a smaller friend group, someone with a bigger friend group, someone who communicates better, someone who has a better family, better trust fund, whatever your thing is. But if you treat life like a shopping app, you'll always be able to scroll and find something better. But that's the trap. If you live your whole life chasing better, you never take the time to see what's right in front of you. And a lot of that time, the real question is, am I happy with this person? Can we grow together? Is it possible to build something real in the middle of all the chaos? Those three things are the things that matter. And if you're always scanning the horizon for an upgrade, well, if there's somebody choosing you right now, then you're not showing up for them. My brain loves fantasy. It loves future Dean scenarios. Future Dean in the camper, future Dean with the perfect podcast and career, future Dean with a nice little house, acre of land. But when you zoom out of these things, perfect doesn't exist. You're never going to have it all lined up. And when you do, life's going to smack you right in the fucking face. That's my experience. And you're never going to feel 100% sure about anything. You think I was 100% sure when I told my boss that I wasn't feel that I was being fairly treated and I was being taken advantage of and something had to change? And he fucking sent me fucking packing? No, I wasn't 100% sure about that. In relationships and life, you pick your problems. You pick the flaws you can live with. You pick the stress you're willing to carry. You pick your own version of hard. So when we talk about settling down, which I have, with it's been a topic of conversation within around me lately. Just I don't think that it's about did I get the best. I think it's more about did I choose someone I can be happy with, be real with, and I'm willing to show up for every day. So wherever you're at right now, single, dating, married, divorced, situationship, relationship, encasionship, whatever. Ask yourself, are you finding yourself sometimes chasing the idea of better? Or are you actually showing up for the people who are trying to love you right now? All right. Before I digress, I sort of want to recommend something to you guys. I know I've been doing this Hits Deep segment, but did some holiday traveling, and I sort of just wanted to fill you guys in on my biggest recommendation of the week. I listened to what is honestly a much better podcast than anything I've put out so far. Um, like if you're listening to this show, go ahead and finish it. But after that, cue up this podcast. You're gonna be like, I like Dean, he's cool and all, but these guys, they really know what they're talking about. Here's some homework that does not involve me. The episode is Chris Williamson's Modern Wisdom with Alex Hormozi. It's the one, they've done several together, but it's the one called 41 Harsh Truths Nobody Wants to Admit. It's 4 hours of just getting punched in the gut in the best possible way. Eye-opening, enlightening, and I'm not even exaggerating in any way when I tell everyone listening that is my highest recommendation listen of the week. If you only have time for one podcast low-key other than this one, pick that one. I had it on in the car driving back home, and it was the perfect storm. 70. Straight ride, high sky, clear, just chilling. Couple of lines from that. I'm just going to feed you some of the quotes. You're not actually afraid of failing. You're afraid of what people will think of you if you fail. I mean, yeah, that's me. That's half the reason it took me 10 days to record this episode. What if the pod isn't good? What if the people see me trying and it doesn't go anywhere? What if I look stupid and it doesn't get any views? Who cares? If something's hard for you, it's probably hard for everyone. Most people avoid hard things, so you can beat most people just by actually trying. And you can imagine me in the car being like, wow, these guys are talking to me. Like, I haven't done anything special, nor am I very good at this. So, I like to think I'm decent. I don't like a lot of negative self-talk, but I'm not as good as those guys yet. So, it's just, and to know that they come from humble beginnings, it was very enlightening and eye-opening, and I just really enjoyed the whole thing. The advantage isn't being special. It's the advantage of just being the person who does the thing. I mean, and so I listened to that podcast on the way in, and I went and visited my friend Mason, and I got to see everyone on Thanksgiving Eve, and it just put everything in a whole. So thankful to see all my friends this Thanksgiving. It was the first time in several years I got to, and I on Thanksgiving Eve the bars are just insane, and we're a week removed from Thanksgiving now, so I hope everybody's leftovers in the fridge are, getting thrown out today, and I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, by the way, and I hope a great holiday in general. It was great seeing everybody. But on Thanksgiving Eve, you walk into that bar, whether it be the grill or the pub, and you see the guys you played football with, people you sat next to in class, old flames, people you haven't talked to in years. And it's a weird mix of damn, I love these people and I miss these silly memories we made, and damn, look how different our lives turned out. I just keep thinking about that podcast, and the stuff about mortality and cosmic irrelevance and how in the grand scheme of the universe, it's hard to believe that any of this matters too much. Can't put too much stock in it all, you know? Nobody gets out alive. But somehow these tiny moments, like seeing my friends over the holidays, they mean more than anything. Us all packed together in a small town bar on Thanksgiving Eve. It's not going to make history. Nobody's writing a book about it except maybe me. But those little anchor points in life where you find yourself exactly where you're supposed to be or where you need to be, those are the little moments that, or at least woke me up and were like, hey, you're here, you're out here, you're doing it. And I also was so thankful to get to see my dad while I was home. I stopped and visited him for about 2 hours and took him a pair of slippers and it was his birthday on the 24th, so took him a birthday gift and just kicked it with him and BS'd, and we had a blast talking and laughing, and that was really good for my soul too. And I was happy to get to do that this year and actually see him on his birthday instead of sending a gift. It all has really felt like it's been playing out just how it's supposed to for me. And I couldn't be more blessed. Quote of the day, another from the Hormozi and Williamson podcast. If you can be in a bad mood for no reason, you can be in a good mood for no reason. I highly recommend you all go listen to that podcast. I've listened to probably, I won't even put a number on it. I was going to say 10,000 hours of podcast, but over 5,000 hours of podcasts at least, and that was one of the best. That was one of the best I've heard. I'll probably re-listen to it. So also while I was home, I got to see my buddy Mason. I went there trying to record a podcast with him, and he was sort of who I was talking to, joshing with in the beginning, just messing around. But speaking of that trip at home, like I said, I got to see Mason, and he gave me one of the most, and maybe the best, like a funny compliment, most disrespectful compliments I've ever got in my life. We're talking and just catching up about everything, and he's like telling me how he got the new COD, and he's like, bro, Dino, you have to get back on Call of Duty this winter. I'm playing by myself, this, that, and the other. It's cold, you're inside. He said, you not picking Call of Duty back up would be like Michael Jordan never coming back to the game of basketball from playing baseball. And I'm like, geez, Mace, come on. I'm not Michael Jordan of Call of Duty. Calm down. And he's like, no, Dino. Like, he's like, it'd be like Michael Phelps just staying land-bound for the rest of his life. He's like, the fish guy. And at this point, I'm like, all right. I mean, I'll get it, Mace, but geez. And he's like, Dino, are you telling me if Kobe was alive, he wouldn't pick up a basketball? And I was like, all right, Mason, I'll get it when I go home. I mean, that was rude, but also fair. Here's the thing. For a long time, Call of Duty was my weird little superpower. Not in some, like, esports sense or, like, way I was making money, but in the sense of it's where a lot of my competitive fire lived. And it's where a very locked in and zoned in Dean existed. And it was where me and my friends, me, Mason, Patrick, Dylan, Trev, Nikki, Michaela, a bunch of them, many others, just sort of George, Josh, we just existed together, Scare Bear, in this little tailgate, in this little online world. Vegas, I mean, Kiwi, Ringo, Minger, I mean, Brandon, I mean, we could name forever. It's like my gamer people. And it's just was this space where me and all my friends, especially during the height of COVID, existed in this little online world. Simpler times, some extra foul language here and there, terrible comms, but a lot of laughter, a lot of yellings, and a lot of memories in there. So when Mason sort of framed everything like that to me walking away from COD being like MJ walking away from basketball forever, it kind of hit a nerve, like, because on top of everything else we've been talking about, the struggle, the distance with friends, trying to make something out of this life, there's also a whole little archive of clips of me that already exist. Old streams, old clips, old games. So if you're listening to this and you're into Call of Duty or video games at all, or if you just want to see a different side of me, I'm going to encourage you, go subscribe to my old COD channel at DPasz on YouTube. That's @ DPasz. Gonna be resurfacing some new clips. There are countless memories on there of me, Patrick, Dylan, and a lot of our friends playing Warzone and Resurgence. Please don't mind the foul language. It was simpler times. We were kids in grown men bodies, just staying up way too late, yelling at pixels on a screen, and somehow making core memories out of it. So don't take anything we say too serious, or comb it for, anything that could be used against me, because I'm sure there's something in there. And for those of you who knew us and know the guys I'm talking about, and this isn't your first listen, or have been following me and the story with Pat, I think there's sort of kind of something beautiful about the fact that all those moments are just frozen there. And I'm not going to spell it all the way out for you, but if you end up watching some of those games and you hear a familiar voice come through your headphones, I hope it makes you smile like it did me yesterday watching them through. I hope it feels like a little room you can walk into with us. So, that being said, I'm coming back to Call of Duty. I'm making my return. And you can thank Jigs for that. This winter, while it's cold, I think I'm going to pick the controller back up a bit. Not in a this is my whole life way, like before, but in a way that's, let me honor the part of me that loved this and the people I shared it with before type of way. So yeah, at DPasz on YouTube, it's coming back. Go hit that sub, and we'll run it back a little bit this winter. New Warzone maps coming out, new Resurgence maps coming out. I'm coming back, baby. All right, guys. That's gonna do it for today. If you're still here listening, thank you. I appreciate you all way more than you know. If anything in this episode hit you, whether it be the friend stuff, there's always someone out there better talk, me highlighting that Hormozi and Chris Williamson pod, which please go listen. You definitely should. Or the old COD memories and the DPasz channel making a return. Shoot it, share it, send me a DM. Let me know where you're at, what you're thinking, if you like what I've been doing. We're going to keep building this thing brick by brick, one episode at a time. I love you guys all so much. Thanks for listening. We'll see you Wednesday.